Really, which one? I'll be there. Which one? Yeah. Oh, it's fine.
So Sandbar at 10, forward 10:40, off at 11, wheel at 11:20.
Are you good grad school and so one of the questions I have, so I want to get to the point. I would should I tell them that? I would do it. I would do it.
I have a little,
It's really clear that the language like seeing you know, take
it's not gonna get for itself.
I'm sure it will. Now I'm sorry. No, you don't. You know what I found out today? I didn't think about it. So good. Can I hear now? Yeah, but I was. Anymore, yeah, I get. I mean, I'm not, yeah. 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 Sorry. Yeah. How are you?
Wonderful.
Yeah, I didn't. No. Fine, you know, work out. So, yeah, you know.
Oh, yeah.
The next time.
Like.
Yeah. You are happy today. We are really like. Anyway, I can give Oh, what is she?
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm gonna probably. I mean, I should ask. Working. Yeah. Yeah.
No.
They'll let you know. And I don't know.
And I can be the one to say what's happening. Like as far as like. Right now. Yeah. You started. All right. You don't have to do it. Yeah. That's I can ask anybody. I'm on the thing. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, everyone. We're gonna go ahead and get started pretty soon. If everyone can make their way to their seats. Awesome. Yeah, so I just getting those catch boxes ready. This meeting's called to order. I need a motion to go ahead and approve the minutes from last meeting. I see a motion from Manisha. I see a second from Lana. And any objections? Awesome. Can you go ahead and get that pull up? Great. Let's go ahead and give 90 seconds for that poll.
No.
Every time I see you, I remember that I never sent you the Costco thing. 1 second.
Yeah.
30 seconds left. Please go ahead and fill out that poll.
What does that mean?
Okay. Every time I look at you, I think I tolerate it, and I apologize. What are you minoring? What? What are you minoring in?
So I gotta download it.
Join the walk next to me.
I can't. Maybe I don't know.
Austin,
I don't know. I don't. I don't stay with the minor. I did it because I was gonna major in it. I did.
poll is now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably spent a lot.
All right, sorry. The poll is now closed with a vote of 24 in the affirmative, 0 negative, and 0 abstention. The minutes from last meeting are passed. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the next item on the agenda, which is our guest speaker from the Director of K Recreation Services, Jason Crone. If you guys would give me a minute to go ahead and pull his presentation out. Sorry, I'm bad at this. Yeah, it's hard, but you learn to fire. Not today. Oh, we have a Zoom. So yes, probably. Yes, please.
I don't know.
Does that work? Yeah, that's awesome. That should be great. Let me go ahead and just do the parliamentary procedure necessary. Go ahead and start.
We woke up, you had those. Well, I mean, the next day, everything was fine.
Every time, oh my gosh.
All right, everyone. Sorry about that. I'm still learning how to use technology. We're gonna go ahead and allocate our guest speaker 30 minutes, all in all, for questions and so forth. But again, we have Jason Crone from K Recreation Services. Here to talk. Just some background. Recreation Services is a huge component of our fee, and so I really ask that you all bear with us and keep in mind the information he's going to tell us, as it'll be very important come this spring. But with that being said, feel free to go ahead and take it away.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you so much for letting me speak. I really feel that this is an honor to be able to present what we do at Rec Services to you. So thank you very much. And I do want to let you know, as director of Rec Services, I take that very seriously. I take seriously making sure that we provide great services and facilities to you guys as students. And so that's an honor of mine and one that I take very seriously. I will not. It keeps asking me to do things up there.
Should just be right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Couple of things that we're going to talk, or I'm going to talk about tonight, just kind of a program overview, just to kind of give a general idea of what it is that we do. Talk about our facilities real quick. A little snapshot of our financial outlook. I think that's important for you guys to see. And then future improvements that we are potentially looking at as well. So bear with me through this. I will tell you, I'm not going to speak to everything that's on every screen, because I know you're able to read and you can see it. If you ever want to focus on one thing specifically, I'll highlight it in red for each page. And then down at the bottom of each page, I'll also have just kind of some data points that I think is important for you to see. What I will comment on the data points is that you'll see that we're coming out of COVID and everything is in the pandemic, everything is going up. And so that's good news. Great participation happening. And I'd probably say, if you had to ask me, I'd probably say we're maybe within 90% of pre-COVID numbers for everything that we do. And with some actually exceeding those numbers. So intramural sports, for those of you that don't know what intramurals are, it's KU students playing against other KU students, and anything from individual dual sports all the way up to team sports like basketball, volleyball, and flag football. And then just kind of the cool thing that we've started doing with intramurals is we've teamed up with Kansas Special Olympics, and we offer unified sports, which is really satisfying for both students and the participants. Sport clubs, the difference is that KU students are playing against other university club teams. We've got about 1,000 students in this right now. But the cool thing, along with a lot of student organizations with our sport clubs, is they're student led and student driven. And so officers of the clubs may be not only president of a club, but they may also be the coach. They could be someone who's making up all the travel arrangements, referees, all that kind of stuff. And so budget development, they're getting a lot of hands-on experience that can certainly help them later on in life. Our fitness program is kind of split up into two main parts. One is our group exercise program called KU Fit. And so we offer about 33 classes per week in that program. We also have personal training. And this is one of the areas that we're just really kind of exploding with our personal training. Is got a lot more students coming in and doing it. The one kind of cool thing about the fitness area is that this fiscal year, which is fiscal year 24, is the first time in 7 years that we were able to fully fund our equipment replacement procedure. So I don't know anybody who's been working out in our weights and cardio area. We actually kind of took over some of the cardio spaces for more weights, because that's where the trend is that we see people who want to lift more than cardio. And so we have received really good feedback on all of that we've done. And the great thing that we're going to try to do is we're going to try to keep that line protected again this year and be able to do it again and try to kind of catch up from where we've missed. And then just kind of a couple of special events we do. We've got Moving with the Rec, which is a 5K we started in the spring, and we just got finished with our fitness challenge, which is a competition of 5 different events, anything from like the 40 to push-ups that are in there. I'm moving kind of fast because I want to cover everything, but I'm happy to answer questions at the end. Outdoor pursuits, anything from our rock wall, our equipment rental. We're also now doing like a group dynamics leadership type of team building. That's what I was looking for, team building type thing. And then we're also developing adventure trips for the spring. We'll start taking kind of small trips and see how that goes. Facilities. Everybody knows about the Ambler, but we're more than just the Ambler. We have tennis and sand volleyball. We have what we call our central field, which is by Downs. And then just this fall, and I'll talk more about it in a little bit, we opened what we call the super field, which is out at Schenck. The best thing about talking about this and looking at this picture is our student employees. And I don't really have a slide for it, but we can't do what we do without student employees. And we have probably 225 students that work for us throughout the year. And so they're valuable to us. They're a big part of what we do. We ask them for feedback. Like right now, all of our pro staff, has gone home for the evenings, and students basically run our rec center and run all of our programs while we're not there. And if you don't know, pickleball lines have been added to our outdoor basketball courts. And then just kind of a couple side things that we don't talk about much. One is marketing. We have a team dedicated to just kind of getting our word out. And then maintenance and custodial, incredibly valuable part. I constantly get, when my peers from other universities happen to visit KU, they can't believe it's the Ambler is a 20-year-old building. And so what we do with our maintenance and custodial staff is just fantastic and amazing. And it's helped keep a quality facility, stay quality after 20 years. I know some universities have had rec centers that after 20 years, they're going through major renovations because their facility is run down. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about our facilities. As you know, Ambler is our main facility, 150,000 square feet. Lots of different things. The maybe kind of cool thing about it is we probably have one of the longer suspended tracks in the nation. We're 30 feet short of a quarter mile. I wish they could have found that 30 feet somewhere so we could actually call it a quarter mile track, but we're pretty darn close. And then we just dedicated more and more space in the Ambler to weights and cardio. I think we kind of started off about 17,000 square feet, and I think we're up to about 23 of the 150 just dedicated to weights and cardio. What we call our central field opened as part of the Central District project. It opened in 2019, and the really cool part about that is it's just kind of self-use. If you want to go and use it and it's at night and nobody's there, you can hit a button to turn on the lights and they'll stay on for an hour at a time. They'll let you know when they need to when the button needs to be pushed again, and they'll stay open till I believe 11:30 at night. Superfield, has anybody been out to the Superfield yet at Schenck? So maybe some club people here. Great, except for the fact that we don't have lights yet, and so we're waiting for a big transformer to get delivered, and then Effigy is going to have to come in and hook it up. So it will certainly be ready by the spring semester. But that's part of KU Endowment's big crossing project that they're doing out there. And so far right now, you as students have paid this much money to have that field developed. It's a $3.5 million complex. So that's been a great bonus for us. Tennis. Again, when CapFed was built, that's where the old tennis courts used to be. And so when it was built, where they were able to pay for new tennis and sand volleyball courts from 2014. And again, they're the same as like the central field. If you're wanting to play with the lights on, you just go hit the button and it'll turn everything on for you. Sand volleyball is the same as tennis, and again, right next to it. I would feel like this isn't a complete presentation if I didn't talk just a little bit about mental health benefits. It's a topic. We all know it's a topic. We all know it's the major topic on campus. I want you guys to also understand that CAPS is very important and they provide a great service to mental health, but recreation and fitness have plenty of benefits to go along with it. And I just threw some data points up there that I found through some research. But if you look at the top 10 health and wellness benefits that students are talking about, 3 of them pretty much relate to mental health. And so we believe we play an important role in your mental health as well. Okay, so the financial outlook. So what I did was I compared what the budget simulation that we got last year about this time and how it projected out for FY24 compared to the sneak peek that I just got from our current budget simulation. And we're looking at right now about $460,000 difference to the positive. And there's several things that contribute to it. One is we did a good job of managing our budget for the rest of fiscal year 23 last year. We had a couple of empty positions that weren't filled, and so that money didn't get spent. We also have, as you know, basically a 6% increase to student enrollment, so that equates to about a 6% increase to the revenue we receive from the required campus fee. And so through kind of all of that, right now we're in a lot better position than we thought we were. We thought we would be 390,000 in the hole for FY24, and we're actually looking at maybe a positive 73. Now, what I will say is this: it will not end up 463,000 the positive, because there will be expenses that happen that we don't know about, and that happens all the time with the rec center. Something breaks, and all of a sudden you're spending $50,000 to fix it. So I anticipate this being positive, but not 463,000 positive, if that makes sense. A couple of things that we're looking at from future repairs and replacement needs. Right now we're doing a reheat coil project in our expansion. That's $150,000 that we've been planning on doing that. We're using our facility maintenance fee for that. Basically that helps with humidity I don't know if you've noticed kind of walking from the old part to the new part, sometimes you'll feel some temperature imbalances. This project will also help with that. We've got some leaks that we need to deal with. Emergency door delays. I want to take the delay off the emergency doors. And so that will cost, I don't know what it is. There's a estimate coming soon. And then our intercom system we need to fix as well. And then just kind of all the other things that I think are going to happen within 10 years. And so my point to all of this is that our facility maintenance fee is incredibly important because we need to use that for all the big project kind of stuff that happens. And so we try to plan out from year to year to make sure that we can cover some of those projects. About seven years ago, we did a master plan and completed it in 2018, where we had a design firm come in and basically evaluate what rec services needs facility-wise. And a couple of big things that come up with it. One is that the Ambler is about 100,000 square feet short of indoor space for a university that is like our size. Okay, so to give a comparison, what you see in the Ambler right now is 150,000 square feet. So this study says we need another 100 to be comparable to like universities. And within that, they talked about recommendations that include the free weights, more group exercise, functional fitness, multi-sport fields, and a rec pool. And so I'm going to show you what they considered to be phase 3 additions and phase 4. And so phase 3 addresses the first 3 of these bullets, and then phase 4 addresses the rec pool part of it. And then they're looking, they believe we need more lighted artificial turf fields. And then I just want you to know just kind of what's on my wish list besides that. I think an important part of a rec facility or a rec center and rec services is a high ropes challenge course that's on campus. We've had Adams campus available, but it's 20 miles away and it's just not very attractive for students to get there. I think we could use more turf and lights next to our tennis and sand volleyball courts. More turf and lights next to the super field out at Schenck. And then in the grand scheme of things, kind of a major field complex that just kind of puts everybody together. And then outdoor pickleball courts. That's becoming an incredible trend right now. So this is just kind of a design that they put together. And again, nothing's concrete, but just to kind of show, this is phase 1. This is what was already built originally. Phase 2 is what we call the addition. And then phase 3 sits out here, but it also addresses weight room expansion into the old aerobic studio. And where's my rock wall? New rock wall over here. A new rock wall that's more functional. And so that's just kind of how it sits. It would sit on the plot of land that we have. And so within phase 3, huge functional fitness area, which is basically all the turf, has kind of some jungle gym kind of stuff, tire flip, that kind of thing. One cool feature is this ramp that would head up to the track. So like a training ramp. Football has one, basketball has one, and over at Anschutz, they have one as well. It's kind of become the new one of the new trends. The 3 fitness studios, expanded weight room, more functional rock wall, and an outdoor wellness terrace would all be part of that phase, could be part of that phase 3. And then I just want to show you just some comparisons with other universities. The one that you're looking at right now is Big 12 comparison, and it's basically investment dollars per student. And so we've highlighted where KU is in the red just so you can kind of see where we land. This one is Big 12 budgets. And actually K-State's probably not listed right. They're actually probably more even with us. So really there's about 3 of the Big 12 schools that have budgets that are smaller than us. This is square feet per student for the state of Kansas. And so you have Kansas, Washburn, Pitt State, Wichita State, K-State, and then through KU Med in here just to give kind of a comparison as well. And then this is Big 12 square feet per person. So the same thing, just with the Big 12. You can see where KU is in the red. And then this is peer institution square feet. So the university has designated these schools that they like to compare themselves to. And so I don't know if you can read those, but on this side, Iowa, Oregon, Virginia, Missouri, Colorado, Michigan State, North Carolina, and is that Florida? Florida down there. And I will tell you that Michigan State right now is going through a $200 million, 293,000 build for a new rec center. So they're certainly going to move to your left. And then this is just KBOR University's comparison of the fees. And so these three are basically hovering right around $75. I'm sorry, I'm old. I can't even see that myself. Hopefully you guys can. But you got Wichita, K-State, and KU Med over here on the left. Okay, I sprinted through that. So I wanted to leave time in case you guys have any questions for me or anything that I can clarify or help answer or anything, or just tell me to get out of here.
Yeah, let's are there any questions? All right, I'm gonna go in here first.
Do you have any plans to, I know you said it wasn't set in stone, but build a separate rec center for phase 3 and 4, like at a different part of campus? So it's more like spread out across campus?
Yeah, so that's a big debate on whether you do everything all in one location or whether you try to spread it out. The way the conversation has led now is phase 3 and phase 4 would be connected. But I'm certainly open to conversation. It's just, we know we have the space there. We don't know we have space anywhere else on campus to be able to plop it down. And that would take some approvals, obviously.
Chris?
So I believe there was once a pool on campus that was open for student use, but at some point it closed down. Do you know what happened there?
So there's 2 pools in Robinson, and in those 2 pools are 50 and 60 years old. Pool life is 20. So they're more than double past their life expectancy. And so right now they're only used for athletics for their swim and dive team and not open to the KU public. I believe that there's some work that's supposed to be done on them that may open them back up to some public use.
Okay, thank you.
Razad?
Yeah, my question had pretty much exactly to do with that. So I was going to wonder about, I believe one of the reasons that Robinson was shut down was that there wasn't enough student usage, and that's why like athletics kind of took it over. Would it cost more to renovate it versus build an entirely like new pool area like incorporated with the rec? So what are the negotiations going to look like if you kind of like barter with athletics to open it up to the public?
Part of the reason why I believe that the student usage was maybe low was because you had very limited hours to use it, right? So if that opens up to a more steady timeline, I think there's potential for more student usage. It will depend on if you're talking about like a dual use with athletics with the current pools versus phase 4. The phase 4 pool is a completely rec type pool and couldn't be used for practices and that kind of thing. So it would be individual use. Whereas if the pools in Robinson open back up, again, I think you'll be limited on when athletics would make it open and available for students on how that use would go. I don't know if I answered your question all the way though.
I think you did to the best of your capacity.
Close enough.
Yeah,
I just don't have a crystal ball on it because I'm not in charge of that pool, so I can't really say exactly what will happen with it.
Okay.
Are there any other questions?
I'm just curious what the timeline for phase 3 and 4 looks like, at least right now.
Yeah, so
Jason, I can go ahead and answer that. I think there's conversations ongoing right now, but nothing's concrete in terms of what a phase 3 or phase 4 expansion would happen or would occur. So there isn't really just a definitive timeline for when that would happen.
You'll know when we know.
Yeah.
the only thing I would add to that is that I'm not going to drive that. Meaning I don't think students want the old rec guy to say, hey, you need a new pool. I really think that has to be student driven. And so I can certainly support in the background and that kind of thing, but I'm not going to be the one going out telling everybody this is what you need, because I think you need to hear that from your peers more. So if that support comes, then I'm right beside it.
Farzan?
Okay, so two quick questions. Can we expand hours to like open at 5 AM and close at 11? You know, is that like possible?
So we used to be open all the way till 2 o'clock.
Yeah, that's what I
for
heard.
a while. It was like for a year, and then it didn't. We have to make, when our budget has been as limited as it has been, we've had to make some very tough decisions, and the tough decisions and the biggest impact on the budget are hours. And so we studied our hours, and 5:30 to 6 and 10:30 to midnight, our numbers were down compared to the rest of the day. And so that's where we decided to make some decisions. I'm all for looking back to that. It just means I've got to, I have to put a figure to that, and then I would have to present it to the fee review committee to go, okay, if you want expanded hours, it's going to cost you blank amount of bucks.
Okay, and then I'm gonna give some recommendations and you tell me what you think,
Sure.
For
I'm all for it.
functional strength training, maybe some sled push and pull, like little rinks to set up. And then maybe some steam rooms and saunas,
So that's exactly what I envision for phase 3, where you see all the tires and all that kind of stuff. I see sleds, I see all kinds of just get after it kind of stuff in there. I will tell you, somebody higher than me is going to have to tell me to install a sauna. I'm not a big fan.
The benefits are great. Okay.
Benefits are great. I get it. One, mechanically, they're really hard to operate. They break down all the time, so it will become expensive. And then 2, if they're not in the right location, they can cause some problems and some issues. And so you got to put them in the right spot. But if somebody higher than me says, hey, you've got to do it, then we do it.
Okay.
The other part they do, like if it's a hot sauna, people will want to pour water onto the unit that's not meant to create steam.
Yeah.
And then you bust all the electronics inside of it. And
I think that'd be disgusting if you had a sauna, just me personally, but yeah. Turner, you had a question? Or?
We have enough musty rooms at the University of Kansas.
Just for me.
My question is, what needs to be done to finalize like the plans for phase 3 and 4 before we would, if we go forward, what needs to be done to finalize the actual site? Do you need to hire another firm to relook at it, or?
No, because I think the minute adjustment of what's going to be in it could happen during the design phase of it. But my understanding of what needs to happen is that it makes the most sense for something like this to be a referendum and would be on the ballot for students to be able to vote on. I don't think administratively it makes sense for somebody to just say, hey, it's going to happen. So that needs to happen. And I believe in order for that to happen, you have to have a petition that says, hey, we want this on the ballot. So that just speaking kind of very broadly to that. Does that cover it good enough?
That's about accurate, yeah.
Stay tuned.
I kind of mean like that exact details. Like even if there is a referendum petition, like all that passed, like are you gonna have to hire another company to like when we're actually in the building?
Yeah. So you would bid out the design part of it, and then all the firms would put in their bids or whatever, and whoever won it, then that firm would help design exactly how it's going to look and what parts are going to be in. And I'll add to this, the cool thing about this is that the basically world headquarters of sports architecture is Kansas City. There's about 5 different firms that are there. And the cool part is that all those firms are loaded with KU graduates from architecture, and they all would want this project. And then within that firm, all the KU people are going to want to work on it. And it happened the same way, even just with this master plan. HOK did it. We had all KU grads that were working on our master plan.
That's awesome. Thanks.
Sure.
In the back,
I have a question, like what are you guys plan to get like LD food market into like the rec center, like protein shake or something else?
Something food wise.
Yeah, but LD, like after weightlifting, like we need like LD food.
Yeah. My dream has always been to install what's basically called Shake Smart. It's a firm that has designed this. It's a smoothie bar, for lack of a better term, that is specific to rec centers, and I think they're fantastic. The driver behind that is that dining has all has to run all food operations on campus, and so dining would have to say, hey, we think this is a good idea.
Dining's looking into it.
I didn't want to speak for you, but yeah. We're looking into it a little bit. Turner likes this idea a lot, and so we've met with dining to talk about specifically how that could look in the rec center, and we're in the looking phase.
are there any other questions on the floor? All right, well, with that being said, go ahead.
Thanks for your time tonight. I really appreciate it. Yeah, thank you.
Harrison talk to you about?
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Austin's gonna send out a really quick short form. It's like 2 questions. It's a feedback form. We really appreciate if everyone goes ahead and gets that done before I leave today. Just for us, but also for Jason to go ahead and look at, to gauge how we feel after this. So please go ahead and get that done. So with that being said, we're gonna go ahead.
Basically,
We're gonna go ahead and move on to the next item on our officer reports. We're gonna move on to the next item on our officer reports, which is next item on our agenda, which is officer reports. Austin, I think you're up. How much time do you need? All right, we'll do 10 minutes. I'm kidding. I'm a joker.
average.
Apparently, before the great COVID.
I don't think you need to download it. You just need to. Oh wait, yeah.
Bunch of polys that look weird. Here we go. Listen, you got your global winter out.
Okay.
That's unfortunate. I like you, I don't like your major,
Okay, good evening. For those of you I haven't yet had the pleasure of meeting, my name is Austin Christ. I'm the chair of the Student Rights and Affairs Council. I'm in front of you today to talk about the official university's code of rights and responsibilities, colloquially known as the Student Code. So the Student Code is a formal document that enumerates the university's expectations of student conduct, as well as the protected rights granted to each student. You can see there are 8 official sections. The big one is the rights section. Well, so the Student Code was first created in 1970 by our very own Student Senate. And since 1986, it has been revised every 2 years, which has been codified into our Constitution. And as the rights chair, I'm charged with overseeing this revision process. You can see the code up here, but I also just sent a link to the team so you can all view it yourself or on your own time. This process of revision is open to all KU students, and I highly encourage you all to get involved. It is a great way to make an impact on campus. It's not a long read. It won't take you long, I promise. And if you feel that there does need to be a change, whether it's just a wording clarification or a new section of rights entirely, please reach out to me. Send me an email, talk to me, send me a Teams message. I'd love to have that conversation, and I'd love to get you all involved and make that sort of difference. Like I said, this is an opportunity to have a direct impact on university policy and to make a change for student lives on or off campus. So yeah, as for time frame, my goal is to have all of our proposed changes kind of packaged together by the end of February, so that we have a full cycle before spring break to discuss and vote on it before sending it to admin. So the way this works is that once the Senate approves the code revision package, we send it to Dr. Durham, who's the Vice Provost of Student Affairs. Dr. Durham then discusses it with General Counsel, gives us legal feedback, and if it needs to be sent back to us, then we make those little tweaks for legality. And if it looks good, she sends it to the Chancellor. Chancellor signs off, it becomes policy. That's all I have for you. Does anyone have any questions about how this works or what this is about? Yeah, what's up?
Did you notice anything in the student code that was you when you read over it? Was it pretty like straightforward?
Honestly, I think it's pretty straightforward. A lot of the code references other university policies. Like if you go to the non-academic misconduct section, a lot of the things that are prohibited for students to do or that are subject to punitive action are also outlined in like the sexual harassment policy, for instance, or the discrimination policy. But in terms of rights, it's interesting, I think, to see them all listed out there in terms of your freedom of expression, your right to privacy, especially how it applies to housing. Honestly, I don't think I was surprised by anything, no.
So Austin, just a quick question. These changes are going to be made in the rights and then they're going to be compiled at the end of the year?
Yeah, so I think the way that I want to approach this is that we're going to continue to discuss this in rights meetings. And so I think if you have an idea, I think it's best to kind of workshop that together as a council so that we're all on the same page and we can work out some of the language differences. And then we will draft our own version of the rights code with all of the changes that we would like to see. And then from there, we would vote on it. So.
That's awesome. Are there any other questions on the floor? Awesome. Well, Austin, thank you so much again for coming to presenting. Next up is Chris, who, how much time do you need? 2 minutes? Awesome. So Chris is going to take 2 minutes to talk. Feel free to start whenever.
Howdy. So following up Austin's talk about this student code, I just want to give you all notice that for next cycle, I'll be presenting an amendment to the student code focused on safeguarding trans students at the university. The language isn't set yet. I'm waiting to hear back from student conduct and community standards, but I've shared it with all the council leadership, and I'm very proud of what we've settled on. Are there any questions?
Any questions? Awesome. And Chris, that bill will be finalized and submitted to councils next week?
Yep.
That's great.
Last cycle for this semester, yeah.
Yeah, and if anyone wants to work on the bill, workshop it, please feel free to go ahead and contact Chris. But Chris, thank you again so much for coming up.
Yep.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Big man, Turner, how much time do you need?
3 minutes.
3 minutes? I got you.
Hey, everybody. Okay, so I want to share a few things that I'm working on and also that I learned these last few weeks. So I'm going to start with recycling. So there's been a lot of debate over, do we recycle, do we not recycle? Nobody really knew. I want to clear it up with all of you guys, so if people ask, you can tell them. So there's two kind of types of recycling we do here. We do only cardboard, and we do mixed or single stream. So that's like you put any aluminum, plastic, whatever, they recycle all of it. So in certain places, they only do cardboard, and in certain places, they do all of it. So in housing, so all of our dorms, all the scholarship halls, they only do cardboard.
And also in the union, so Memorial Union and DeBruce, they only do cardboard. In all athletic buildings and all academic buildings, they do all single stream. So I just want you guys to know that we do recycle. We're looking into ways to increase recycling on campus, trying to get housing or the unions to pay their fair share to get the single stream recycling in these buildings. But we're working on it. We're trying to learn more details about how we can help them. They have a lot of dysfunctional equipment, like their trucks don't have proper lifts, so they can't pick up recycling cans. It's a whole thing. We met, Danae and I and Mahir met with the head of recycling, and we're working through how to help them out. So just so you guys know, we do recycle. So that's one thing. I've got to meet with athletics a few times, trying to work through like the game day experience, the tailgating experience, like I've talked about before. I'm writing up a plan that I'm going to send to the athletic director, just a bunch of ideas that I've had talking to different people, just ideas on how to make the game day experience better. If anyone has ideas, please email me. I will include it in the proposal. I'm going to submit it by Friday to them. It's just going to be a few page document to the athletic director for his thoughts. But he's very receptive to our plans. One idea is a big trophy ceremony handoff with the KU K-State game. We don't really hand off the trophy, and it's like the Sunflower Showdown. So why not do that? Outdoor projects, we've met with KU Grounds, so the people that oversee like our campus. We're trying to think about how to improve our campus. So different ideas on maybe a bench should be somewhere. Maybe we need to fix a fountain right by the Kappa sorority, right by the chancellor's house. So a bunch of things like that. We're working to improve our grounds, maybe plant some more flowers. The provost has asked me to come up with a plan for like an environmental board, like different from with giving funding within Senate, but overseeing big projects on campus. So I'm trying to come up with a structure of a board that's like some students maybe from Senate, some faculty in environmental studies engineering, and maybe some staff as well. So come up with a board that will oversee financial investments on campus, especially with the master plan coming up. Going to be a lot of projects. We want to have feedback from our smart faculty and people on campus. Okay, one more thing. I'm almost done. We have $80,000 to give out to clubs this year. We 100% have that funding. I've been hounding on our admin the last few weeks. We have found out we have safely $80,000 to give out to clubs so far, or not so far, $80,000 for the whole year. After we if we fund everything today, we'll have funded 41 or so thousand. So that will leave 39,000 or so for next cycle and the rest of next semester. If we allocate more than that, we have a safe carry forward reserve. So like our savings account that has, and I don't know the exact quantity, but I know it's a safe amount. We'll be able to draw from that if necessary to help funding these clubs. So just so everybody knows, we have enough money. Don't let funding restrictions hold you back too much from funding cool student orgs here.
Any questions for Turner? All right. Nay, how much time do you need? Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So last week I attended a lot of interviews. The university was going through the process of hiring a new dean for the School of Engineering. So I was a part of the interviews for that, and I reached out to a lot of different engineering student groups. I reached out to all of our engineering student senators to try to get some feedback, because I'm not an engineering student. So I didn't know exactly what they were looking for. And I got a lot of really awesome feedback that really helped give my opinions on what the student body is needing. But all of the candidates that they got for that position were incredibly qualified and really great. And so I think any of the ones that they hire for that is going to do an incredible job. So I'm super excited for the School of Engineering. I think you guys have some good stuff coming your way. So I did that last week. And then this week and going into next week, I will be a part of the interviews for the hiring of the new dean for the School of Music. And again, I'm trying to reach out to students in that school because I'm not in the School of Music. So I'm trying to figure out what students are needing in that aspect. So if you're part of the School of Music, or if you know of any students in the School of Music, I would love to get some feedback on that. An update on our merchandise. We are still kind of at a standstill with trying to get things figured out. We have done everything we can do on our side. It's more of just waiting for the process of things to go through. Hopefully we get it before the end of the semester. That's the goal. We're hoping and praying. We had a new video drop. It's our intro to read and write video. And so this is, and it was created through the Access Center. And what Read and Write is one of the platforms that Turner and I ran on under Student Life, was getting more resources for students with more like learning disabilities. And so we wanted there to be a text-to-speech software for students to use. And ideally the goal was for students with those disabilities, but the Access Center has actually purchased a software for the entire university to use. So it's open software for all students on campus, faculty, staff, all of that. So we have a video, a short little how-to video on our YouTube channel that the Access Center made for us, showing everyone how to download it and just a real intro of how you can get started using that. And we this past week and this week, we've done a lot of different outreach. And we're starting to look into different ways we can do more outreach. But last week and this week, we did a lot of different outreach things. Me and our outreach director, we attended Trunk or Treat, the CCO's Trunk or Treat. We were volunteered at that, which was awesome. And we're really just trying to get out to different student organizations. We went to a bunch of different student organizations meetings and presented and talked about what Student Senate is, because a lot of the treasurers in these organizations might know what Senate is because they might come to us for funding, but a lot of the people just generally in it don't exactly know. And so if you're in any student organization that you'd like us to come and talk to your General Assembly, please come talk to us either here sometime today or send us an email. We'd love to come and talk to your organization. And also if you have any, if your organization is having any events, we'd love to attend those as well to see all the amazing work that you all do. And if you're, or even if you have any volunteer events that you do, we'd love to be able to come and help out at that, like we did at the CCO's Trunk or Treat and volunteering at that. So that was great. Now, lastly, tailgates. So we had a really good homecoming tailgate last Saturday, October 28th, or a couple Saturdays ago. And then we have our final tailgate and final football game of the season coming up next Saturday, November 18th. We're going to have free food and games as we always do, but we're also going to have hot cocoa this time. And it should be very interesting because we're going to have some K-State people and some K-State Student Senate people there as well. So it'll be a great intersectional mingling time. And that's all I have for you all.
Last person on officer reports is Luke Stanford. Luke, how much do you need?
It's like 3 minutes.
3 minutes is awesome. Feel free to start whenever.
All right, so just real quick for Student Senate, for the executive staff, we're working on a lot of different projects and a lot of different platforms. And so one kind of initiative we're starting this year, targeted specifically to our freshman senators or the people who are running for freshman elections, is we're rolling out a student executive staff like internship program. And so there's gonna be more details about that coming out. But that happened our freshman year when Turner and I were freshmen. We were both interns here, and it was a really great program, but we're gonna try to develop it out to be something even more and try to keep this going year over year. But beyond that, I mentioned last time about the student move out donation project. Just an update on that. What we've done so far this week is talk to a lot of other Big 12 schools about what they do for the move out donation like their programs. And so we're still in the process of researching exactly what they do. We've talked to TCU, and then we're talking to Iowa State this week and hopefully Austin next week. But again, if you want to be involved with that, please reach out to me. Just my email is senatecos. I would love to have more senators involved on these platforms because it's going to be pretty intensive. And it's going to be pretty all hands on deck. And so that's kind of like the big updates. And then with outreach, Danae kind of touched on it a little bit. But with outreach, that's one of the biggest things we're going to be trying to push on this year. I think we've been getting a lot of feedback recently from people on campus that they don't really know what Senate is or what the role of Senate is on campus. And while that is pretty much on us to try to educate them on. And so we're coming up with a lot of ideas on exec about how we're going to reach out to them. And it's going to involve a lot of you guys and involve senators specifically next semester. And so we're rolling out that probably next cycle, just more fleshed out idea to present to all of you. And it's going to be something that we're going to expect going forward starting next semester. But that's just wanted to give you guys a heads up that that's something to look forward to for the outreach program. But yeah, that's pretty much everything.
All right, with that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the next on our agenda. You want to give an office report? Yeah, just let us know in 2 days. I was confused about like whether to or not, but Brandon, how much time do you need? 2 minutes. All right.
Hello, my name is Brandon Phelan. I am your graduate student body president. Some of the things I've been working on the past 2 weeks is finalizing fee committee representatives for graduate students, increasing outreach and engagement for graduate students as well. Just try to get some of those graduate student senator spots filled. There's supposed to be 15 of us. We currently have about 4 or 5 that are active. As along with Danae, I've also been a part of the SunX with the hiring of the hiring process of the Dean of Engineering and the Dean of Music. And I'm working on some guest speakers for next semester for full Senate. Some people that I think would be great additions to our lineup. And also working on some legislation for Finance Committee and just talking about how just putting some better guidelines in place for what we fund and how we fund it. And working with Turner and Danae in their platforms. So
thank you. I think with that being said, let's go ahead and move on to next on our agenda. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the laptop on real quick. Okay. All right, let's see how fast. I'm gonna go ahead and make a quick motion to go ahead and amend the agenda real quick. Before we go ahead and acclimate Samantha to the fee review committee, I need a motion. I'm gonna go ahead and make a motion to acclimate some new senators. That was something that was new to me about a few hours ago. Somebody go ahead and make a motion. I see a second from Sai. Any objections? No? Awesome. So I'm gonna go ahead and motion to acclimate Luke to architecture and design and Austin to junior senior class. Do you guys accept my motion?
Absolutely. Yeah, exactly.
All right. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. Here's what we're gonna go ahead and do. We're gonna go ahead and do a voice vote. All in favor of we'll package them. All in favor of acclimating Austin and Luke to student senate under their respective positions. Can I get an aye? Aye. Any objections? No? Any nays? Awesome. Welcome to Senate. Welcome to Senate. All right. The next thing is let's go back to the agenda. So the next thing was the acclamation of the fee review center of the fee review representatives. So graduate student body gets 2 representatives to the fee review council. And Samantha, is she here? Okay. All right. But she's completely fine with that's awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and motion to acclimate Samantha as our fee representative. Second, any objections? Awesome. We'll do a voice vote again. All in favor of welcoming Samantha to the fee review council? I get an aye. Any objections? Awesome. So welcome Samantha to the fee review council. Let's go ahead and move on to the next item agenda, which is a consent agenda. I'm gonna go ahead and voice vote this. I need a motion to vote on the consent agenda. Can I get a motion? I need a second. Second from Chris. Any objections? Good. Yeah. I think okay. We'll go ahead and if there's no objections to the consent agenda, we'll go ahead and move on with the consent agenda and hop on to the regular agenda. You want to go all in favor? I mean, there's no objections. So I don't know what you want me to do. Okay, fine. You want to go ahead? All right, Austin. All in favor of passing consent agenda? Let's get an aye. Any nays? All right, consent agenda is passed. Let's go on to the regular agenda. What's the first item on our regular agenda? First Nation Student Association. The presentation is sent to me, right? Awesome. Let me go ahead. Give me a quick second to go ahead and pull that up. Sorry.
At 159.
Sorry. Sorry, it takes me a quick second.
I was basically trying to push for.
All right, everyone. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Technology again is our number one enemy here in Senate. How much time do you need, Alicia?
Maybe like 2 minutes.
2 minutes? Awesome. Let's go ahead and give our presenter the necessary attention and feel free to start when you need to.
On Mandakio, Alicia Swimmer, Machia Beach Show. I am a graduate student senator and I'm also a member of the First Nation Student Association. And I just wanted to present on why we're asking for $1,345.18, which is less than what our initial one was from last week's meetings. I did want to show members of our community when we gather, we like to express ourselves through t-shirts. We're pretty casual dressers, but even with the ribbon skirts, the ladies like to wear shirts that express themselves as well as the men. And these you can see they're wearing some of the previous powwow t-shirts that they have at KU. And then this one on the right is the more current photo of us when we put up the teepee on Indigenous Peoples Day like a month ago. And we're asking for our logo. We got some questioning about this last week, so I just wanted to go ahead and just be proactive with it. The one on the left is one that Isaiah Stewart designed for us, like during the pandemic. I think it was 2021 or something. And I'm a Plains Indian. I love it, but I feel like it leaves out a lot of our members that are from different places. That's not their culture. And I also wanted to give an example of the one on the right. That's more what we're looking for because it includes more areas of the United States as far as Indigenous peoples go. You could see like the salmon and the killer whale. Those are more representative of Pacific Northwest tribes. And I think the center emblems are more like Southwest. And then the florals are like, some of my people do florals with their beadwork. And this is the budget we're looking at. We decided to just do t-shirts so we can get more of them. We have about 30 members. Our scheduling is all messed up, so we don't all meet all the time with 30 people, but if people have time for it, we usually have about that much. And our logo is for a local Indigenous artist. We're looking for someone that is a KU alum, maybe a Haskell alum, but mostly has affiliations with this university as a Native person. And we would like to pay them appropriately for their work because it's going to be computer-based. So we could use it on our t-shirts, our letterheads, flyers, stuff like that. And then we wanted to fund our last 4 meetings for food. And these are just flags of people, different tribes. There's 574, but that's only like 100 of them, I think. Do you have any questions?
Any questions, Alicia? Any questions? Luke?
This is not a question, but it's kind of just a statement, I guess, funny information.
Go ahead.
Are you familiar with Mr. Norman Akers?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I think he would definitely be willing to help you guys out with your art.
Oh yeah, he's faculty, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he works he's a painter in the KU, teaches painting.
We could ask him. We're looking for people that work with computers, so
like graphic designers, just because of we have to send the file over to a t-shirt company and.
Yeah, I know he does screen printing and also.
Oh, really? Okay.
different media, so.
Oh, okay. I could ask, because we put a call out and I think I'll include that name because we put a call out like 2 months ago and we haven't heard back that much. But this is like, the 500 is between the answers we got back. So like it's in between.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
With that being said, we're out of time. From any other questions, any motion to vote second from anyone? In the back, Brendan, any objections? Awesome, Austin, you got the vote out. Now it's out. Vote polls out. Please go ahead and vote within the next 90 seconds. I'll put a reminder up at 30 seconds out. But the clock is started.
Is that it? Can I vote too, or can I vote, or do you just stay?
You're saying it.
We're good then?
Yeah, thank you so much. Chris, how much time do you need?
Give me time. I know.
Design. Back.
60 seconds, everyone. 60 seconds. Please go and get your votes in. 30 seconds. 30 seconds left. All right, we're gonna go ahead and close the poll with a vote count of 27 affirmative, 0 negative, and 2 abstentions. This bill fully passes. Okay. The next item on agenda is a resolution concerning the Gateway project. Chris, 10 minutes, starting whenever you.
Let me get this pulled up real quick.
Okay.
We're getting there. And got it. Okay. So I'm not sure how many of you know this, but the university is planning renovations and new construction alongside the David Booth Kansas Memorial Stadium. Is the first phase of this project. It'll be mostly focused on renovations to the stadium itself, improving it, improving the seating options, stuff like that. In the later phases of this project, they're planning on building a conference center, walkways, new landscapes around the stadium. And as part of this, which isn't currently commented on their website, the space they're getting for this project is going to be 2 parking lots. They're currently used by students to reach classes and work. The only reason I was able to tell this is because the project renderings show that the development is on top of these lots. Nowhere on the project's website or on any public information that I've been able to find do they say that this is going to take out 2 parking lots or that this is going to impact student transportation at all. And as far as I'm aware, not the project management and not KU administration have a plan for informing students of this change or ensuring that transportation has the same availability when this project starts and when it ends. And we've seen a lot of problems with student transportation this year. We've been trying to fix the buses, but those are still a little bit slow. Park and Ride got closed down by the Alumni Association to build some new developments there. And transportation services ended up overselling some of the student permits. So if any of you tried to park in lot 90, near the recreation center in CapFed, near the first 3 weeks of this semester, you would know that it was hell. You had to pretty much follow people walking back to their cars, or else you were never going to get a spot and get to your classes on time. So I'm concerned that with the impacts of transportation already, this project is going to add additional strain onto there. And while it is a good addition to the university, I think it will be positive overall, I think that we should expect administration to more clearly comment on the impacts this will have to student transportation and develop a more clearly thought out plan for how they're going to make sure that transportation stays the same during and after this project. Because again, the Memorial Stadium lots are the ones most commonly used when students need to reach work, say, in the Office of Multicultural Affairs, anywhere in the Kansas Union, a lot of the Jayhawk Boulevard, like halls too, because student parking lots are pretty rare on campus, especially with Park and Ride out now. You got lot 90 at the bottom of campus. That's pretty much the largest one. You can spend extra if you want to get a reserved spot in the parking garages, but that costs $48 over the regular parking permits. And you also can't have both parking permits at once. So if you've already bought the regular yellow permit, and now you want to say, I'd rather park in the Mississippi Street parking garage because these two lots are going to be out and I still need to get to classes. Am I allowed to swear?
Go ahead.
Tough shit. You already bought the permit. Good luck. So this resolution is not an angry resolution by any means. It just says, we're concerned about the impacts of student transportation. We believe administration should make sure the parking has the same availability during and after the project. And we believe that transportation services should provide clear guidance to students before the start of construction for how they should navigate campus with these two lots removed, so that students don't have to commit substantially more time to getting to campus and no student incurs like fines from accidental parking violations, which are very common. So are there any questions?
Any questions on the floor?
Yes.
Awesome. You good?
Farzad, toss the mic.
Yeah, where's the, let's make sure we share the.
Thanks. Hello. So I'm Austin. I'm the student transportation coordinator. One thing I just wanted to ask about, so what type of, I guess, outreach has been done to transportation services? I'm not exactly aware of kind of how that correspondence went about.
So we have reached out to the director of transportation to see if they have a plan for how to manage this. As far as I'm aware right now, they don't have like a step-by-step plan for how they're going to handle this or any specific outreach that they're planning to do. They said that they were concerned about it, and they said they were committed to maintaining the same availability of parking, but that's all.
Yeah, I think this is a great point. One thing I just really wanted to touch on is, so I guess, has there been any outreach, any response from athletics as well with regard to the project? I know that it's kind of a coordinated project and maybe that's where things have fallen through a little bit.
I'm not sure. I can't comment too much because Danae handled a lot of the outreach to administration. We did reach out to transportation services. Transportation services referred us to a few other people in administration. Is specifically athletics? I'm not sure. I know that probably athletics is going to move forward with this project as long as they have enough funding. Yeah. So I'm not sure how much would be done specifically with them because this is a project they've already committed substantial amount of resources to and have advertised pretty heavily online.
Chris, could you talk about maybe like you reached out to parking, right? Independently. Who was the contact that you guys had in parking that you guys reached out to? And
the director of transportation services listed down here, Aaron Quisenberry.
Yeah.
I think he prefers to just be called Quiz.
Yeah. They reached out to.
Yeah. Just like a quick point of information. A lot of the parking stuff is decided kind of separately from transit. So like, I get your concerns. I just wanted to make sure that kind of everything was squared away. I think a lot of this ultimately is a communication issue between like an interdepartmental communication issue. Like I think it'd be great if we had like an outline as the plan progresses for this project.
Yep.
Something like that.
And I think this is an important resolution to have out there to show that students are concerned about this. We're paying attention because it's very easy in an organization as large as as large as the University of Kansas, or even just athletics and transportation services by themselves. It's very easy to lose things. We've certainly lost a lot of things in Student Senate. I don't want to think about everything that KU as a whole has just lost because maybe some people went on vacation, maybe some people missed some emails when I got in the inbox. This is why I think it's a very good idea to adopt this so we can make it clear that we're paying attention.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Chris.
Are there any other questions about this resolution? All right, just quick note, this is the first resolution of our year so far. I'm looking for a motion on something. There's no questions, it's gone to a halt. First, I'll have to motion to vote. Second, from on in the back. Any objections? Awesome, Austin, if you get a poll out.
Thank you very
Polls
much.
out, let's go ahead. Let's see if we can do, let's see 90 seconds. Please get your votes in within the next 90 seconds. Oh, yeah. 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 I don't-
I told my dad I got an interview with my team for an internship, and he said. Hey. But it's like a video interview, so I feel like I already did it, but I did a burn up in McDonald's before, and that was really in depth, and then I just like married, and so I did. Is that a question or a statement? Can Cole join us on Sunday?
Yeah. 20 seconds left to vote. Please get your votes in.
You get really.
What? I gotta deal with this real quick. Olivia. Let me go ahead. Let me go ahead.
No, I think if he's like, I hear the same thing. I'm better on the
Okay. Austin, Austin, close polls. All right, everyone. Poll is now closed. With a vote of 27 in the affirmative, 0 abstentions, and no, 0 in the negative, and 3 abstentions, this bill passes. Or this resolution passes. All right. Next item we have on our agenda. The next item we have on our agenda is a bill to fund KU mock trial. Please bear with me. Did you email that presentation out? All right, just let me see if I can if it's come into my I don't have it yet in my inbox, but yeah, I don't have it at all. Yeah, let's go ahead and. Do you need a presentation? Oh, I got it. Yeah. Sorry about that, everyone. Again, still figuring out the technology thing. Our next speaker is Olivia. Olivia, how much time do you need?
5 minutes.
5 minutes. Awesome. Please go ahead and give our speaker the necessary attention.
Okay. Hi, I'm Olivia. I'm one of the senators here, and I'm also the treasurer for the KU mock trial team. So first, just like a bit about us, we're a competitive public speaking activity, and we compete across the country against other universities in like simulated legal trials. And this year we're doing a case about an art heist, so it's very interesting. In terms of our mission is to teach our members about litigation, courtroom procedure, civil and criminal law, public speaking, and critical thinking. And here's a lot of our members. We have about 50 members right now. It's grown a lot over the past like several years. If you can see Manna there, you can see Jaden, other senators if you know them. So before I get into like how much we're asking for today, I just want to talk about like our fundraising plan and how much we raise. That's really fun. To just show that we are also doing our part and how much we spend. So our goal for ourselves, not in terms of Senate funding, is to raise $10,550 this year to supplement the funding that we receive from Senate. And we do like monthly events. We do, so like so far we've done like a fantasy football league. We've sold snacks at like a movie night. We're planning a restaurant night. We're cleaning Allen Fieldhouse not just once, but twice. We cleaned it Monday. I got 4 hours of sleep. So doing really awesome. We sell merch. We host a tournament that we are having this next weekend. We get registration fees and money from selling food, as well as not having to send our teams to like hotels for that tournament, and then like donations. So here are all the costs that we plan to cover this year. So food and gas. We don't provide food for everyone, but we understand that like sending people to tournaments, not everyone has the money to pay for food while they're traveling. So we do try to set aside a certain amount of money to be able to help people who can't afford that. And then gas, like demonstrative supplies. And so the money we're asking for today is for our hotels for regionals, but we still plan to pay for the gas, food, demonstratives and stuff for regionals. And then so the way it goes regionals, orcs, and then that all qualifies to nationals. So we're planning to pay for orcs and nationals if we qualify to there. So in terms of our budget request, this is not updated from last week. We originally were asking for $5,000. There's 2 different regionals we'll be sent to. 2 teams go to each regional, so $2,500 for each. It got amended to $3,000. So this is all for regionals to qualify to Orcs, which is opening round championship series, and then from there to nationals. In past years, we received funding for regionals, Orcs, and nationals through line item. However, this year, our team was only granted money for the first semester and told to come back to apply their unallocated budget to make up for what we didn't get. Usually we've gotten $14,000 in the past. This year, we've gotten $10,000. And to be clear, we're only asking money to send our teams to regionals, and we plan to pay for Orcs and nationals ourselves. So yeah, is there any questions?
Are there any questions for us? Oh, I see one from Rob.
What was amended? Making it from 5 to 15?
From what I was told, it was just amended to 3K. That would just be like 3K in hotels. All the costs we have our hotels. So yeah, so that would just be like $3,000 worth of our hotels.
Is that so? The finance committee, the $3,000, just yeah. All the costs are relatively the same. It's all for hotel costs for regionals, and so I think in terms of the jurisdiction of that, it's rather I don't know like how specific we can get with that, but I think that's like general cost. It's just generally allocated towards hotels for regionals. Here.
Do you automatically qualify for nationals? And
No. So how it works is you go to regionals, depending on like how many teams are there, the top whatever teams go to orcs. Traditionally, we've qualified at least 1 team to orcs. And I know in the past couple of years, we've gotten close to qualifying 2. And then from there to nationals. We haven't qualified a team to nationals in a little bit, but the past years we've gotten really close. Like we were 1 point away. So
what would happen with the money that you're setting aside for those events if you don't end up qualifying?
We'd probably put it towards next year. So if we qualify to orcs or nationals, hopefully maybe next year we wouldn't have to clean Allen Fieldhouse twice. We got to save some of that. But yeah, that would all be put towards future years for if there's like, a decrease in funding from Senate or if there's other costs we need to make up for.
Are there any other questions? Awesome. I'm looking for motion to vote from Austin, second from my boy Noah. Any objections? Awesome. Pulls up. Your last name.
Stop while you're ahead.
What's he ahead?
Fair point.
It starts with yeah, we drink it this fast. Thank you.
Just look it up. Oh, true.
I'm just asking. Emails, right?
Sorry, 90 seconds have been started.
Yeah, that is kind of.
Told me that my hair was.
All right, everyone, 30 seconds, please make sure to get those votes in. 30 seconds left. 30 seconds left to get those votes in. Close it. All right, everyone, the poll is now closed with a split of what's the numbers? With 25 in the affirmative, 1 in the negative, and 1 abstention. This bill passed. With that being said, we've come to the end of our regular agenda. In terms of announcements, if any freshmen are having problems with voting, please make sure to log on to your Rock Chalk Central account first before you go ahead and vote. Aside from that, that's the only announcement I had today. I am looking for a motion to adjourn.
Motion.